Hey everybody, Scorpion here. So we're going to scrap out a Mack Book Pro for gold, silver, copper, that kind of thing. I'm going to spin it around here. Let's take a look. Ooh, I see you. Some of the screens are a little bit difficult to get off. Hopefully this one will act like it's supposed to. But yeah, so y'all stick around.
Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Alright, so let's see what we can do here to get things started. So iPads and stuff are probably my least favorite to do. Mainly just because of the amount of screws that are in them. They are pretty well built, I will give them that, but they are a pain to try to take apart. Sometimes I find spots that I get a little bit stuck at and I have to break things, and sometimes I can't open the screen, and you know. All that normal stuff. So I am doing all this by hand, so you will have to bear with me. This will not be super fast or anything like that, but you will get to watch the full breakdown from beginning to end and what tools you may or may not need. I'm not saying these are the only tools. These are just the tools that I'm using. So this right here is one of those little mini screwdriver sets. It gives you all those little small things and safety screws and all that other stuff. And right now I'm just working with the Phillips. Alright, so you saw me take the last screw out before it so rudely told me my battery was dead. So this right here, if you clean it up, it's clean aluminum. I break this off and put this into cast normally. Sometimes it doesn't like to play along. Sometimes it will. So I normally put that little piece in cast. Scratch this off, this off. Now, depending upon your yard, is how clean they want that aluminum, to whether this will pass or if you're gonna have to peel this off as well. And this can be a pain in the butt sometimes, and sometimes it can be super easy. But anyway, so that's the sheet. I'll pop these off too, not a big deal. Whatever. A little heat helps out sometimes in some of this stuff. So now you're in the computer for the main part. So I normally just start going through here. I already got the Phillips on here. So I start taking a bunch of the Phillips screws loose. Normally you'll find them around the outside and different little holding your drives in, and battery has to be something totally completely different. So if this is something you want to do, these screwdrivers are basically a necessity. And that is pretty much, if you up here, alright, so that's a decent start. So now you're going to have to switch. Keep that handy. You're going to have to come back to it. And you're going to go to star bit and start removing all these. Now, one thing that Apple does is they definitely put enough screws in, and of course, as you can see, the outer part of the shell or casing is aluminum, not plastic. I don't exactly remember where all of them are. Not one underneath there. You got some holding the fan in. And of course, all these screws go into shred. Or if you like to separate them or whatever, some people actually buy lots of screws. Buy them by the bag, by the pound. You know, different things like that. If that's something you want to do on eBay, list that stuff and try to sell it. And like I said, keep this one handy, so it never fails. You're gonna miss some. Everything in here is black and all the screws are black, and it really gets kind of difficult to see everything. So you're gonna want plenty of lighting. Alright, so this is, I call this a Y bit. There's only 3 legs instead of 4. That's what the battery's held in with. Of course, we don't pay any attention to that sign that says don't remove the battery, because we're not about that life. You know, raise this bad boy up, it'll slide this way and it'll come on up, and then you can unplug it from the board and your battery is out of the way. Now we've got 1 stick of RAM in this. So these little chips on here are called BGAs. For a ball grid array. They do have gold in them, so you depopulate both sides of your RAM stick so you can get the gold out of those. And you also have gold fingers here, so you'll want those as well. Alright, so let's see if this thing is loose yet. Start unhooking some stuff, unplugging things. All right. the fan should come out. As you can see, there's gold on the end, and that's a motor. We'll go ahead and spin this so I can get a different view of it here. As I said, I'm not the best in the world at these. I've only done a few of them. So we have this cable here plugged in, and this cable here plugged in. There's another one there. All right. Now we're closer than we were. Alright, you're going to have a couple things underneath that are plugged in. Normally you can just pull and it will release. So you're going to have gold in that. You should be able to see the gold in that, hopefully. This is your heat sink, and not every computer is the same, but this one just has a small heat sink. There's some copper here. This is all aluminum. This is going to be copper here, and this is going to be aluminum. You can heat this and separate it, or some people just grab it and rip it off. Completely up to you. Same here, you can grab that, rip that off as well, and that'll give you some number 2 copper, and then some aluminum. Again, that's up to you how you want to do it. This is also a heat sink. First, we're going to pull that speaker up. There is gold in the plug. Pop that up. That's aluminum. So you keep that. So now you've got gold in this. You've got an IC chip with gold. This is copper. Break them off and throw them in the motors. These are capacitors. You can break those off. Some places will give you aluminum breakage form or dirty aluminum. Either one, that's cheaper than shred. You've got all kinds of little components on here that you can depopulate off. Those right there are actually a halfway decent size for what they are. You're gonna have gold in pretty much all of these. There will be, what is that? Gold pins in that. There's like 2 sets of gold pins in both rows, in all 4 rows of this. This has gold, this has gold, and that has gold. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, how much gold is in a computer? Well, there's a lot of different variables in that. And there's gold pins there. On the back side, again, you've got gold, 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 gold. Then you've got a bunch of components. That's probably gold in that. Bunch of other components that are nice that you can depopulate. Gold in this. Is it on this side now? I can't remember the name of these, but with the stripe on one side, they sell for one price. These things right here sell for like $75 a pound online. Again, it's up to you. There's another one of those, another one of those. Up to you what you want to do. Normally I stop at this point and I come back and depopulate later, because I'd be here all night if I didn't. And I have lots of computers, so I make a pile of junk that comes out, and you know, a pile of the other stuff that comes out. Alright, going to the next. So I try to completely take everything apart. It doesn't always work that way. That's cast aluminum. And that's the other screws. That's cast aluminum. That's loose. Pop that hard drive up. You unplug the hard drive. There is gold in that plug. There is gold here in this. There's gold in this board. There's gold inside that hard drive too. Again, look up one of my previous hard drive videos if you'd like to see all that, so you can find out exactly what's what. There's a little bit of gold on this and on that board. All the plugs that plugged in, there's gold in those. It's all tiny, minuscule amounts of gold though, so don't get you know, super carried away and all that stuff. So all of these plugs here are gold plated on the inside. If I can get them to pop off. I'm not sure if y'all can see that far. All of these connections are gold. This has got gold where it all connects to the board. That's normally going to be your Wi-Fi board. So we're going to get over here. And something somewhere. It's got a screw in it. Here we go. So this is your DVD drive. Quite a few of them have some gold connections in there. Gold on the end of the ribbons. So here's a gold connection there. You unplug this, gold there. There's gold on that connection. Sometimes the eye is one of those gold eyes. The board in there, it's got a flat pack and some other stuff that you can get gold out of. Again, it's what's important to you. Are you going after the big stuff, or are you going after all of it? That's a decision that you have to make. On your own. I'm not going after the fastest money I can get. I'm not doing this for a living. I'm doing this as a hobby. So therefore, I'm going after all the gold I can get. Again, cast aluminum. So yeah, I want it all. Gold's expensive right now. It's like $4,300 an ounce, I think. So I'm going after all of it. So again, your connections on this stuff have gold. That's more gold that you can get and recover. Alright, so now we're down to the pad. So to me, gold's expensive. I can't afford to buy it. So this is how I get my gold. And we say we get it for free. It's not really for free. You know, you factor your time, your energy, tools, picking this stuff up, refining it, all that. But we don't have to come out of pocket any money. So it's normally good enough for us. So this is your mouse pad. This piece is glass, so you'll have to heat it to separate the two. You can see here, there's gold on the board around that little push button. Push button's gonna have a silver tab in it. There's gold in this connector, and there's gold in that connector as well. These boards, I can see gold showing through here, so they're probably gold plated on both sides. And it says my memory is full, so I'm gonna pause here and bring y'all back once I swap the memory card. Alright, so that puts us back in play. So this little plastic piece you can normally pry and pop out. There's a little piece right here in the corner you can pry up. So this is going to be where the power button is. So you can pull that out. Just kind of rip it off. I say that, but apparently it doesn't want to be ripped off. So again, silver tab button. Hello, kitty. So I normally go to these and cut these off. Gold connector on this, gold connectors on those. At this point, this is the keyboard, so you get the plastic started. So these layers are in here to keep you from getting liquids in your keyboards or in your computer if you spill it in the keyboard. So you can pay somebody big money to open up your laptop and replace the keyboard and not have to replace your whole computer. No offense, but after I paid somebody that much money to replace my keyboard, I'd just go ahead and get a new computer. But it is a good, you know, safety measure there. You could have stuff on your computer that's irreplaceable, so you could take it home and download it, all that. So like I said, they use a lot of screws in their stuff, so it is built well. Hello, kitty. Kind of fighting the cat and being able to see both at this point. But anyway, holding this keyboard in is a bunch of little tiny screws. I know a lot of people will not go through all these screws to get this out. Just too much of a pain, and I can understand that because it is a lot of screws. This is my third or fourth computer tonight. It makes for a lot of screwing, and not in a good way. So the only thing that's in this really, well, it does two different things. Number one, it allows you to get this case clean, so you can turn it in for clean aluminum. And number two, there's Mylars in the keyboards, and the Mylars contain silver. Now it takes 200 or 300 of these things to equal like half an ounce, so you're not going to get rich fast off of it, but it does add up. And if you're running volumes like we are, we do 200 or 300 of these things a year most of the time. So yeah, fun times. I know a lot of you are like, wow, that's taking way too long. But remember, this is a hobby. This is what I do instead of watching TV. This helps my mind relax, my body relax, gives me something to do, keeps me busy. Also keeps my hands working. And more than likely when I get to the end, there's going to be a couple I missed. They're so tiny, they're easy to overlook. Like everything else is black, well now everything's silver. Go figure. More than halfway now. So a lot of times I get on TikTok doing this. So I'm carrying on with a bunch of friends on there. They're doing the same thing. Makes time pass a lot faster. And we get to cutting up and laughing and, you know, all that wonderful stuff. So it's not normally this boring, or if nobody's on TikTok, I'll turn some music on. Have a little jam out session. Being supervised by the kitty, make sure we're doing this right. She's watching. Are we good over here, kitty, kitty? So where everybody else goes and watches TV, or goes out to the bar, or goes to the bowling alley, or goes and watches sports or whatever, you know, they're spending money and I'm sitting here making money. Also don't have to worry about what other people are going to do. I don't have to worry about people's driving. I'm not sitting out there in the freezing cold or the super hot heat. Got 3 rows left. We are almost done. the last 5. Plus any of them that I may have missed. So this gives me a way to put money back for my kids or for an emergency if I need it for something. I don't think I missed any. Alright, so if you can see in between here, there's plastic. You can see that gray on the plastic. That's what's got the silver on it. But I stop at that point for now. And we're going to switch back to this. I'm going to spin this around. So this is the hinges. Wrong size. And again, their build is good. They have 3 screws on both sides of the hinge for the screen, holding the body of the computer and the screen together. And they are mounted firm. So there's that. Again, I like it clean, so just a little bit of foam that's in here. I try to run a screwdriver across and take out. Then you have this. So really this is just plastic. It does the hinging. Just peel it off there and get it out the way. So I can get to what I need. So this piece right here has got a couple screws in it. Back to the Phillips again. So this is just plastic. That finishes the separation. Try to keep them separated. There we go. Alright. So now we can go back to these, which of course are the star bits. And this will finish separating, letting the hinge come loose. So we've got a lip there. Or no, it won't. There it goes. Alright, so now you have an almost clean piece of aluminum. Got a couple plastic pieces or rubber pieces there to get rid of. Yeah, this little thing here. To get rid of. Come on now, there it goes. Back to the Phillips for this. This piece has diodes in it. Each diode has a gold bond wire. There's a little chip. There's some gold right here. And then we have this. That was glued down and likes to be a pain. There's that. You can scrape this off too. Alright, close enough. My yard will take it just like that, just fine. So there's another piece of cast, and that leaves you with a screen. So some of these screens will come off easy, and some of them not so much. Alright, that gets rid of the rest of that. You could probably toss that into dirty aluminum. But one half of the hinge is steel and the other half is aluminum. It is bolted to a piece of cast aluminum. This is where I get up underneath that aluminum to help start separating that frame from the glass, to keep from busting the glass. And once you get you enough room, you pull it all apart. Pull the rest of your wire up. Alright, so this is a piece of sheet of aluminum, but this is glass in the middle, so you're going to want to knock that out so it's clean. Back to the Phillips again. Alright, so each computer and each screen is different. The one I did before this had this board in it at the top, and something close to this at the bottom. This is a high-grade peripheral board. It's got gold on it and connections that are gold and chips on it that are gold. Super flimsy, doesn't weigh much. It also had that in the side. It's got gold on it. This one just has this, and then you've got the aluminum frame that you can take it out of. Again, You have to decide if it's worth all this work to you or not. You have to decide what you're after. Are you after the quick money? Or are you after the gold and precious metals and every dime you can get? So laptops sell for like $2.50 a pound, I think. So you can take them and sell them if you want. At $2.50 a pound with the battery in them and all that good stuff. Or you can take what you want out of them and sell the rest. Some people steal the hard drive and something else. Some people scrap it all, like scrap it all on YouTube. Some people stop right here because it is a pain trying to deal with this screen and that aluminum piece. So my yard doesn't care. As long as there's some metal connected to the screen, they'll take it to shred. So that's normally what I do. So this right here, gold. Gold where it was connected. Gold on the ends of the boards. You can see gold specks all the way through the board. And then you have these where they connect. They are gold too. So keep those ribbons. That's your high grade peripheral for that. And that's basically it, y'all. Complete teardown of a Dell MacBook. That's everything that's in it. Not a complete teardown of every single component that's in it, but it is a teardown and a quick look at what is in it, how to tear it down and separate it out to the different components. And be ready for the next step, which would be tearing down those components. So I will probably bring y'all back and try to do one long video of tearing down all the components that's in it. And that'll be it. So hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you would do, and we'll see y'all next time.